Welcome back to this episode of RADBMX Builds. I'm Sean, the owner, and on this episode, we're doing something very exciting. We're building an old school 1980-81 Kuwahara KZ-1. This race bike is a heavily sought after collector item, very rare, very cool. And we're using old school parts almost exclusively from Japan. So I'm very excited to do this build. I hope you are too. Let's get started. All right, you can see this frame right back from powder coat in a bright white with brand new decals on it. That's the way I got it. And we're gonna go over some parts before we start our build. An SR seat post clamp, and I figure SR was the way to go since I wanna keep this build Japanese. So I did SR pedals, I did an SR stem, and I did an SR chainring, and then I did Fuji cranks that aren't here yet, but hopefully coming soon, and you'll see them by the end of this video. This is luck. I ordered this plate and it comes with a black background. The seller messaged me and said, hey man, I only have white backgrounds right now, and I thought, that's perfect. Happy accident, and now I have a white background 09 Kuwahara plate. You can buy these on eBay. They're about 99 bucks already done like this. So that everyone asks where I get them. We're doing a black and chrome chain, and we got these Kuwahara decals for the tires, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to Flite, the sick Kuwahara pad set for V-bars, and of course donuts for the grips. So check out the link below to Flite. Awesome company to work with. Speaking of the donuts, they're going to be going on the Oakley B1B grips. These beautiful brand new old stock B1B grips are going to look great on these beautiful V-bars in chrome, which I really like. And I've decided to use a Cashamax seat. It's got chrome writing on the back, super sick seat. The die-comp brakes, die-comp brake lever, and a die-comp white brake cable. And I don't know if you noticed, but we're using the metal clasp to hold the brake cable up against the frame. Now, what are we using for wheels? Speaking of wheels, I had this custom wheel set made by BMX Guru, and I've got a Comp 3 style gum wall tire for it. And what's really cool about these wheels are the Area 7X style hoops that are polished, black nipples, black high flange hubs with sealed bearings. And if you know me and you've been watching for a while, I use these quite a lot. And something else I wanted to add to this, which I think will be a great contrast to the white frame, are these pork chop washers that you can get in black, silver, blue, gold, red. They have all the different colors, so you can get those from Pork Chop. So thank you, BMX Guru, for making rad wheel sets. And you can either buy whatever they have on the website or reach out to them and have them custom made however you want them. But that's not all. There's more coming. I have a Hutch build, Robinson build, a Blue Max, a Redline, a GT Pro Series. All of these are coming this week. The Hutch is already here. If you want to see a sneak peek, check this out. This is a 24-inch Hutch. Hutch number plate, Hutch frame and forks, a really cool Hutch brake guard, Hutch ladder bars, and then again, we're going to use some old school parts like an SR seat post clamp, SR stem, Sagino crown 3-piece old school cranks, the MKS XC3 pedals done with a white cage, and then the Sagino crown 40, I think it's a 44 tooth chain ring, and then the Flite Tech seat. So that's what I have so far, and I also have wheels for this from BMX Guru. This build will probably be the one you see next. So if you want to see that build, make sure you smash that subscribe button, because that one's almost ready to go. I don't even know what I'm waiting on. I am getting those cranks polished, so I guess I'm waiting on that. All right, enough talking. Back to the Kuwahara. Let's get this bike put together, and hopefully by the time I get everything on it, FedEx shows up with the Fuji cranks. If not, it's okay, I have a backup plan, but the Fuji cranks would look really rad. Let's get to building this sick bike. Let's get you caught up. The bike is pretty much there already. So we got grips, bars, brakes, stem, headset, frame, fork, seat post clamp, seat post seat, and the rear brake caliper on there. I think the next thing we're gonna do is wheels and tires, which are real easy. We're just gonna pop those on real quick, get the rear brake adjusted, and then we're gonna have a roller, and I can't do anything else till the cranks get here. Then I can put on the pedals, the chain ring, and the chain, and then the bike will be done. So let's get some wheels on it and see what that looks like. All right, let's take a look at this without, obviously, the cranks yet because they're not here. But don't worry, don't click off this video because this video will end with the cranks on here. But I want to give you an overall of what it's looking like. And the balance of the black and white look really good on here. I'm really happy. I know the black pedals, black and chrome chain, and black SR chain ring are gonna look great. This bike looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Huge shout out to Flite for making such awesome pads. And as you can see, I use a lot of Flite products on my bikes because they're absolutely amazing. And there is a link in the description below on this video if you want some Flite pads or donuts. I even sell RADBMX Builds pad sets. If you want some of those, I would appreciate it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this bike. All right, this Kuwahara KZ-1 is a rare bike. It's not the ET bike. This is what the team was racing back then for Kuwahara. It is a Japanese-made bike, the KZ-1 being the hardest to find. And when I was able to find the frame and fork set, it wasn't cheap, and I knew that when I bought it. But I've wanted one for a long time. I've had the ET bike, I bought it, sold it, but I've always wanted a KZ-1. There are some out there on eBay, complete bikes for over $5,000. They're not cheap because they're hard to find. Okay, this bike, I would give it about a 9.5 out of 10. 10 being the absolute perfect condition. There is a little blemish right here on the top tube on my side, but it's covered with powder coat, almost invisible, but it's there. I know it's there. If I were to ever sell this bike, I'd have to make that new buyer aware of it. Everything else on this bike, absolutely perfect. So I couldn't be happier with the way it came out, and I can't wait to show you the crank set when FedEx decides to show up with it, because it's gonna be absolutely mental. They're gonna take this bike out of the shop outside and give you a nice little B-roll of what it looks like out there under its own power, complete after gosh knows how many years it sat as a frame and fork set. When I build a bike, I put a lot of thought into what parts, what color, what balance. You don't want too much of one thing and not enough of the other. It needs to look right. And I build them for me the way I like them. I don't build them to make everybody else happy. I build them to make me happy. If I decide to sell bikes, they end up on the website at RADBMXBUILDS.com. I have a lot of bikes getting ready to go up there, and currently when filming this video, there is a Haro Team Master on the website, along with merch, hats, shirts, hoodies, whatever you want. Will this bike end up on that website? or will it end up in the collection behind me? You're gonna have to wait to see, because I honestly, right now at this point, have not made that decision. I think it's gonna stick with me a little bit. I think it'll be good for content on other social media platforms like Instagram, and you can follow me there, right there below it. If you haven't done so yet, you need to click that subscribe. Let's get the subscriber count up. That's really how I make these videos, is making enough to keep building this bike so you can see them. And I get that by AdSense. Please subscribe to the video. All right, enough of me jibber jabbing. The cranks are gonna show up, we're gonna put them on, then we're gonna show you this bike absolutely complete. Okay, welcome back. Finally, the cranks came, and it wasn't by the end of that day. It's actually been about 5 days since that last clip, but cranks are here. I got them on the bike, and then I went to install the chain, and my Park Tool chain breaker broke. That's right. I've had it for about 1.5 years, and I went to take a chain off the GT Pro Series, bent the needle, tried to bend it back, which never works, and it broke. So I had to wait 2 more days for a new Park Tool chain breaker to show up by Amazon. 40 bucks, no big deal. It's here now, and it's time to put the chain on. So we're gonna put the chain on and then give you a full reveal of this beautiful crank set and the chain and the entire completed bike. Okay, and there you have it, the 1981 Kuwahara KZ-1. A real rare bike, and it came out perfect. I couldn't be happier, but it wasn't without its problems. Like every other build, there's something that comes up, and that happened on this bike, but no big deal, we overcame it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, make sure you smash that subscribe button, like the video, because there's a lot more builds coming. We have a GT Pro Series, a Redline, a Blue Max, a Robinson, and an MCS. All those bikes are sitting here ready to be built, and if you want to see those, make sure you follow along, hit that subscribe, and as always, stay rad.